What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Georgia Bassmaster channel. Currently out here on the lake. It's almost summertime, so I figured I'd give you guys some of my summertime fishing tips, favorite baits, lures, techniques, things I like to do here in the summer. Currently, I just got out here on the lake, and do not sleep. You can throw this on a bait caster or a spinning. I preferably, most of the time, like it on a spinning combo to like flip it up under the docks and stuff like that. But just a little old fluke right here. This one right here is a breaking bass fluke they sent me. And these things right here are good little baits, full of garlic. Got a lot of stink on them, so works pretty good, but they're weighted pretty good. Got a lot of salt in them. They're way heavier than a Zoom. So I like a pretty good heavy fluke. That way I can really just skip them up under docks and stuff. That's a pretty good bait right there. I have a 4/0 wide gap hook. Some people like an offset on them. I mean, a wide gap works just perfectly fine for me. Another thing, pretty similar bait. Gonna be throwing the old wacky rig. I got a bunch of Mach soft plastics up under my butt right here, but you can use the code MSMACH10 on the Mach website, or you guys can make a bulk order on Tackle Warehouse. There's a link down below. If you could make an order on there, I'd really appreciate it. Apparently my sales are a little low, so let me move this boat. Let me go ahead and grab a pack of the Mach soft plastics out of here. These are the ones, got you guys over here in the shade, maybe see a little bit better, but these are like the baby bass color. Got a lot of good scent, salt to them, but they got a little perfect spot right there in the middle that we made it that way to perfect wacky rig. So wacky rig out here in the summer, guys. Again, you can throw a bait caster or a spinning rod. I currently have a bait caster on here because I got a new reel that Kast King sent me. They wanted me to try it out. This right here is the Kast King Megajaws. It's 11+1 ball bearings. It's a 9-to-1-to-1 gear ratio. So super fast gear ratio. If you guys are using worms or a jig, I recommend a high gear ratio. So that's what we have right here. It's weightless. Just gonna throw that out. This thing has a lot of salt in it. It'll sink. And yeah, basically just giving this new reel a try. And these are pretty affordable little reels Kast King sent me. I am sponsored by LIVESCOPE, but somebody offers you a reel, you can't say no. Plus I figured I'd try it. It's a budget reel. It's pretty cheap for you guys. High ball bearing. Looked good. Figured I'd give it a try. So that is the second bait. Obviously a jig is good. Kind of really put the A-rig up this time of year. As summer continues, I'm not going to get it out of the lure wrap, but the big old jerk bait, guys. I like these clear lure wraps. Cool little things like that I like to show you guys. But this right here is the Strike King KVD 300 Deep. And these things are absolutely deadly in the summertime. Lake Gunnersville last year, Andrew Norby and I caught 200 bass in 2 days on these lures right here. The Strike King KVD 300. It's a lot better for offshore fishing, humps, ledges. I just saw a good fish right there. Come up. I'm over here farting around. Probably the #1 bait you guys want to throw this time of year. That I used to hate this bait, but just a big old football jig. That right there is my football jig. Haven't got it out yet. Got a Mach crawfish trailer on the back end of it. I preferably like a 1/2 ounce jig on pretty much everything I throw. I mainly fish them deeper on ledges, rocks, drop-offs. So far we're just moving a bunch of bottom baits. I don't have some of these other baits tied on that I'm going to talk about. I'm not going to talk bad about the Whopper Plopper because it is an amazing bait. But what I will say is a lot of people are throwing poppers these days. Bass, have seen them a lot. Not a lot of people throw a good old walking bait now. I got the Strike King Sexy Dog, and you throw that out, walk the dog on it. Much slower presentation, especially if these bass are in a little bit more of a mood where they don't want to chase down a bait. You can walk the dog on that and just pause it, let it sit there, quick twitches, let it sit, and sometimes that'll really make the difference on them coming up and demolishing it. This is also the time of year, since I had to put up the A-rig, I break out the big, it's a little dirty, it's got grass on it or something. But this is the burrito swim bait, the 5-inch. I have the 6-inch in here too, especially if you're using it on scope or not on scope, your preference. But throw this big old burrito swim bait out, let it sink, slow roll it across the bottom, boot tails the way you want to go. And soft swim baits this time of year. I don't throw a lot of hard swim baits this time of year. You can, preferably more of a soft swim bait guy. Now this is just for lake fishing, pond fishing. You guys are going to want to do something completely different. Well, I mean, not completely different, but the river is just a whole different beast if you guys are fishing creeks or rivers. So pretty much everything in my rod box I can use. Those are some of my favorite baits. So those are my favorite baits. Let me show you some of my favorite techniques. I need to get here on the water, show you guys how I skip them under docks, where I like to fish. So let's get you guys on the chesty mount. I'll show you all that next. All right, so this is where you like the old weightless fluke. Skip that bad boy up under the dock like that and just pop it out from under there. Now this was a little bit of a small one right here, but we got a bunch of grass growing up. Ooh, it's a little too strong. But I really like throwing the weightless flukes around this weird grass, hydrilla. This is like, I don't remember what it's called, but I don't know if it's duckweed or something else. But this lake's full of it. But you can pull it through there pretty good. And if you guys have ever wondered what skipping really does, especially sometimes it just looks like a shad just dancing its way on top of the water. If you guys have ever seen shad jumping, and that'll incentivize them to jump and bite sometimes. Maybe they'll be up under a dock, I don't know. There's one. Stud, guys. That was like 10 casts with a weightless fluke. I mean, probably pushing a 4-pounder right there. Pretty good little fish, weightless fluke. Maybe I need to switch baits. Maybe I need to keep going, but I was trying to do a bait demonstration video for you guys. It hit just like it was supposed to. Close to a dock. If you guys don't know how to rig a fluke, you go in through the head, maybe about 1/2 inch, pop out. As far as that is, that's how far you need to go, same length, because that's going to sit right there on the head. I like to go through the belly and come out the back. Some people like it the other way, but they're wrong, and I'm right. Another pretty good tip, they may not be one here, but like these boat docks over here where there's a bunch of shade up underneath, fish really like staying in that shade. It'll be just a little bit cooler, so whether it's a boat dock, a tree, anything that can provide some sort of shade, normally a go-to spot in the summertime, because it'll be just a couple degrees cooler there. And trust me, the fish feel that shade just like you do, no different. So like, here's a shady bank. Sometimes you may just want to work an entire bank that's shady instead of the bank that's out in the bright sunshine. And I've done that before too, like in the especially like in the summer, I'll go fish the bank that has more shade in the mornings. It's normally blocked out by the sun. That bank you normally get like an hour extra topwater time in. But yeah, right now we got these big trees behind me shading this kind of whole bank, so that's pretty good. The fish are probably more on this side of the lake than they are the other. All right, so the next place I'm gonna try is where a little bitty creek comes in. There's 3 on this lake. This is the smallest one. So it might not make a water temperature change, but if you guys can fish where a colder creek can come in, it's normally a guaranteed fish. This one, maybe not, but we'll try the other 2 today too. I'm gonna try the wacky rig. Let's get further up in here. This creek ain't no cooler. Well, wasn't nothing in this one, but we'll try the other two. Well, I just blew this spot out. Well, let me go get my lure. I'm having some bad luck today. Well, I guess this is a pretty good time to show y'all the Kast King box. My line just broke. Just had a fish, but all in all, pretty cool waterproof box. Pretty similar to the Plano ones, but they're like 2 for 28 bucks. Can't beat it. Gonna retie this 4/0 hook on. I do the 2-turn clinch knot, also known as the tri-lean knot. Just go through the eye twice, make you a loop. Well, unfortunately, I'm running out of time out here. I'm just gonna slightly ease this on back and see if I can adjust you guys where you're kind of level. That's not it. Yeah, so that's just a few of my fishing tips, tricks. I really didn't get a lot of time to fish a lot today. I only had about an hour and a half. Figured I'd mainly give you guys the instructional video, but got some interesting videos coming, to say the least. Few more tips, tricks. Obviously in the summer you're going to want to not throw topwater all day long. Normally it's early mornings, late evenings. Like I said, you can stay in that shade line, throw topwater a little bit longer. If it's overcast day, you can throw topwater all day. If it's sunshining, bright sunshine, windy, spinnerbait. If it's just kind of cloudy, or even if it's just sunshine, no wind, I like a chatterbait a little bit better. Chatterbait, something about the waves on the water for a spinnerbait and that reflection, it really just gets them going crazy. And other days I like a chatterbait, bladed jig, thunder cricket, whatever you guys want to throw, slobber knocker. So obviously these fish in the summer, they're either going to be super shallow, up in the shade, up next to something, hiding, undercover, ambushing, or they're going to be super deep. If you didn't know, oxygen, there's actually more oxygen in deeper areas of the lake if you're in the summer, versus on the surface there's actually less oxygen until the fall turnover comes. That's a whole other subject, but there's more oxygen deeper. Obviously if it rains really good, it's going to stir that water up. The fish are going to be everywhere. So fishing after a good rain is phenomenal during the summertime. The specific lake I'm at, literally if it floods monsoons, I'll come out here and just slay them. It's ridiculous. But let me know, I might be doing some catfishing videos sometime soon. I'm thinking about doing that this summer, maybe putting out some jugs, some lights on it, trying to get you guys some footage of that. It's a little hard to do in the dark, but I figured that might be pretty cool, so let me know if you're interested in that. Without any further ado, we're going to go ahead and load this boat up, and we'll see you guys at the ramp here in just a second.